Hi guys, welcome back to another review episode. You know you can just shut up and get straight to the point, right? You know I was going to do that, but then you interrupted me. So much excuses. Are you going to keep your viewers waiting? Fine, if you can just shut up, please. Thank you. Hello unique ones. Today we will be reviewing the infamous The Umbrella Academy. And this review will focus on only season 1. So we're going to be talking about the characters and the cast. We're going to talk about the settings. We're going to talk about what I think were the strengths of this drama. And we're going to talk about the storyline and plots. We're also going to be talking about what I think are the weaknesses of this drama. And finally, I'm going to show some of my favorite scenes. And of course, what we're never going to forget, the Ktiques rating system. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. Hey, wanna start? You bet. The cast to begin with, they are solid, but some of the characters portrayed are more or less unnecessary. I think I understand why you may feel that way, but before we move on, why not introduce the major characters? Yeah, you're right, but let them speak for themselves.
Our world is changing, has changed. There are some among us gifted with abilities far beyond the ordinary. I have adopted 6 such children. I give you the inaugural class of the Umbrella Academy.
Okay, the characters have been introduced. Now let's talk about these characters a little further. I have 2 characters that I consider very unnecessary. Or rather, if I'm to change the wording, I would say they didn't build these characters the way that I expected. So first of all is Luther, also known as number 1. And the second of them is number 2, also known as Diego. Now don't get me wrong, these characters are really important. They're like a big part of the whole Umbrella Academy. But their characters were not properly built. Everyone in the Umbrella Academy family was portrayed as some emotional wreck. And for good reasons. Yeah, for good reasons. But Diego and Luther were even bigger wrecks. And I really just wish they gave importance to their characters. For example, capitalize on Luther's journey into the moon. And for Diego, capitalize on his relationship with a female officer. Let's look at the rest of the family. Alison, for example, had Claire. She had Fame. And she had Vanya. Vanya was like a primary assignment to the entire season 1. And for number 6, also known as Klaus, he had drugs. He had 5, and then he had Ben. For number 7, also known as Vanya, Vanya had Leonard. She had a violin, and then she had her powers. For 5 had his whole ending the apocalypse bullshit going on. So every character really had some kind of bigger development in comparison to Luther and Diego. They were literally just running around. They didn't have any big effects up until like episode 8. So for me, I don't think they really did well with the character building. You really made some points there. You made some real points there, and I agree with you. Now let me talk about setting, storyline, and plots. First of all, guys, they really confused me a lot. They confused me a lot with the storyline, the plot, with everything, literally. And they didn't make me curious. Yeah, I think I agree. One of the major things about a drama is its ability to keep you curious about the next stage. So yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. What kept me going is the hype and the fact that I knew Vanya just had to have some sort of powers. So I was really looking forward to seeing her powers. And about the confused settings, I couldn't tell what kind of 2019 that was because, according to 5, they made us believe that year was 2019. But the evolution in their 2019 was really insufficient. What kind of 2019 had no cell phone? And what kind of 2019 had no recent cars? But I'll leave it at that. I'll really leave it at that. And then for the storyline, yeah, all superhero storyline is really about saving the world anyway. So this was nothing special except for their time traveling, which is super cool and super confusing at the same time because How many timelines do you want us to keep up with? But then, you know, that doesn't really come to play until you get to season 2. I see what you did there. What? Well, on to the next. Yeah, let me ask you this. What was your favorite part of this drama? 5. Really? 5 was my best part of this drama. Is it a crime to fall in love with him? Well, he's a 58-year-old man in a 13-year-old body, but you have some explaining to do to the government. Funny, but I really just love the sense of humor, his sarcasm, just everything about him. And then Klaus too was really, really sarcastic, and I really, really loved him. Those are like my best parts about season 1. Yeah, that makes sense. And dear viewers, this brings us to the end of the review of the Umbrella Academy season 1. But before I give my ratings, let's check out some of the scenes that were dear to my heart. Guys, I'm sorry that it is short, but this is because of YouTube policies and copyright issues. But you all can rewind, slow it down, and just enjoy at your pace. Well, here's my final rating, and I'll be biased about this rating simply because I want you guys to watch the season 2. So I will be rating season 1 of the Umbrella Academy a Ktiques Gold. It was solid with great moments. So you all should look forward to my season 2 review, which should be dropping about a week from now, depending on how well this video does. So kindly subscribe, let's have fun together. Drop a comment on your thoughts and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Thanks for watching. Bye.